I do a lot of work with international students. So if I sort of use an expression like, say for example, when I'm working with research students, I talk about the importance of thinking through their research methodology and what they're going to do with their data rather than just going out and collecting it. And I say, look, one of the things you have to worry about, or we have this expression in Australia, that the devil is in the detail. But I don't just leave it at that because they might not know what that means. And so I go on and say, what that means is that often when we have plans, we think things are clear. It's, in principle, things look good, but then we try to work it out in practice and find that there are little things we didn't consider that cause problems, that, there's detail that are issues.
I come from a different language background, so I'm probably the one of the persons who realizes that the language can make things difficult. For example, some of the terms which agricultural scientists use in day-to-day language, many of the overseas students might not be familiar with that. And one of the things which I ensure is that I try to explain the terms before I go further. And the typical example is that in Australia we often call fellow. Okay, it's not F-E-L-L-O-W fellow, is a class fellow, but it's a F-A-L-L-O-W fallow land, for example. Because of the dry land farming situation in Australia, farmers would often not grow the crop for 6 months of the year, and they will grow only once in a year. And many of these students coming from Asian countries where irrigated farming situations where they take 2 or 3 crops a year, a fallow is like an unknown term to them.